The Borough Treasurer by J.S. Fletcher. Recording by Ella Porter. Chapter 1. Blackmail. Halfway along the north side of the main street of Haymarket, an ancient stone gateway, imposing enough to suggest that it was originally the entrance to some castellated mansion or manor house, gave access to a square yard, flanked about by equally ancient buildings. What those buildings had been used for in other days was not obvious to the casual and careless observer, but to the least observant their present use was obvious enough. Here were piles of timber from Norway, there were stacks of slate from Wales, here was marble from Aberdeen, and there cement from Portland. The old chambers of the grey buildings were filled to overflowing with all of the things that go towards making a house: ironwork, zinc, lead, tiles, great coils of piping, stores of domestic appliances. And on a shining brass plate set into the wall, just within the gateway, were deeply engraven the words Mallalieu and Cotherstone, builders and contractors. Whoever had walked into Mallalieu and Cotherstone's yard one October afternoon a few years ago would have seen Mallalieu and Cotherstone in person. The two partners had come out of their office and gone down the yard to inspect half a dozen new carts, just finished, and now drawn up in all the glory of fresh paint. Mallalieu had designed these carts himself, and was now pointing out their advantages to Cotherstone, who was more concerned with the bookkeeping and letter-writing side of the business than with its actual work. He was a big, fleshy man, Mallalieu midway between 50 and 60, of a large, solemn, well-satisfied countenance, small, sly eyes, and an expression of steady watchfulness. His attire was always of the eminently respectable sort, his linen fresh and glossy, the thick gold chain across his ample front, and the silk hat which he invariably wore, gave him an unmistakable air of prosperity. He stood now, the silk hat cocked a little to one side, one hand held under the tail of his broadcloth coat, a pudgy finger of the other pointing to some new feature of the mechanism of the new carts, and he looked the personification of self-satisfaction and smug content. "All done in one action, d'ye see, Cotherstone?" he was saying. "One pull at that pin releases the entire load. We'd really ought to have a patent for that idea." Cotherstone went near the cart which they were examining. He was a good deal of contrast to his partner, a slightly built, wiry man, nervous and quick of movement. Although he was Mallalieu's junior, he looked older, and the thin hair at his temples was already whitening.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?